Well, hello, lovely people. Welcome to today's pick a card reading. Today, we will be looking into the next person you are going to be in a relationship with. We are gonna look at who they are, some characteristics about them, maybe some specific astrological signs. We're gonna also look into how you are likely to meet, in what circumstances, and also in what period of your life you might be at that time, like any significant events that might be happening, or purely mentally where you're gonna be at. So pick either one of the piles of cards that you see in front of you or one of the rings, and let's explore this next relationship for you guys. Hey, pile one, if you chose either this ring over here, I don't really remember what type of stone this was, doesn't really matter. Or alternatively, the Panther card and behind it the false person card, then this is your part of the reading. Let's get into this person that you're gonna be in a relationship with next. Let's start off with the Panther and the false person because this looks kind of worrying, but I'll tell you what it can mean. So with the false person, it's very strongly giving the vibe that you will not get a proper impression of this person when you first meet them. Or at the very least, you are going to see a very small part of them. Like they might show only like 5% of their personality, which is more socially acceptable or something like that. And they will more or less be hiding behind some type of mask. This doesn't mean that they are a bad person or anything like that. Maybe you meet in a type of environment where it's just necessary to have a tough mask that one can't really crack. It can be, for instance, a corporate type of very high level environment where there are specific social rules to follow. So that might be the particular mask in this case. Or let's say if this person has some type of people-facing job, the way that actors do, or such people that are somehow constantly observed by others, they also project an image of themselves. Again, this doesn't mean that image doesn't have anything to do with their real personality, but it's just that. It's just an image, it's just a part of the picture, it's not the whole thing. So either way, you will, in one way or another, have a little bit of a false impression of this person when you first meet them. They might intimidate you in a way, you might think that they are hiding something. You might even think that they are some type of asshole and that you don't like them all too much. And that's something that will come later on, like the good positive feelings. It is interesting because the third significator card I pulled, it was not visible in the video, but it is from the love deck. And it is Sigmund Freud over here with the message Aanloop vertrekt man bekanntlich ungemessene Mengen, which, if I have to translate it properly from my computer, it is well known that one can tolerate excessive amounts of praise. So I am very well seeing the scenario that this person, in the scenario where you meet them, in the situation, they are some type of more important figure that gets some type of praise. Whether, again, you might be in a type of work event where you meet them, where, for instance, you see them as one of those cocky business dudes that's like knows everybody, knows the whole room, is in control of everything, like likes to be liked, likes to be praised, that type of thing. They are giving me with that a little bit of a Leo energy. Doesn't have to be their sun sign or anything, but just that type of notice me presence and pay attention to me. And in your relationship, it can be that receiving, let's say, words of affirmation, I think is called the love language, might be important to them. And with the Panther, I will read to you directly from the book what the Panther stands for. So the Panther is annihilation of the unnecessary and purging. The Panther won't stand to see our growth or energy stagnate. Instead, it pounces into our lives and causes all kinds of havoc, with the ultimate intention of bringing us toward more fulfilling lives. It is unexpected, uncomfortable, and sometimes feel devastating, but after all the dust clears, it is easy to see the Panther's wisdom at work. We have all been through these experiences, and they've made us better people. Trust that the Panther's journey always leads to a brighter place. So when he is balanced, he is brave and productive. When out of balance, it can go to self-destruction. And to bring the energy into balance, you need to get rid of the unnecessary. And it is interesting with the Panther card that it came up for this person, because in the tarot that I pulled, we also have the Death card. And you probably know what the Death card is. It is this bringer of exactly uncomfortable transformation into your life. So we again have this image of a little bit of a shadow hidden figure, like you can't see his face, you don't know who exactly this person is, but it lures you in because it brings some type of hope and some type of feeling of needing to follow them towards something better, like just towards something enticing, even if it is a little bit worrying, a little bit scary. So with the Death card, this is definitely not a person who stands in stagnation, again like with the Panther, all too long. They crave to change and evolve, especially when they notice that something is no longer working. Because with the Death card, it is the idea that this thing, whatever it is, whether it's something in your personality, whether it's something in your habits, whether it's something in the people around you, your work, or whatever area of your life, it is something that is no longer serving you, and it is time to cut it off before it sort of turns into a gangrene or whatever that's called. Like, you need to cut off the dead weight before everything turns into dead weight. That's the type of energy. And while we are at the tarot, let's get into all of the cards. We also have the Queen of Cups, and we have the King of Cups in the reversed position. So what this is giving me in terms of this person's emotional state, let's say. First off, I think they are a person who is very well aware of what's going on in their inner world. They might have a strong intuitive streak. They might, for instance, be the type of person who, if they are, let's say, in business, they might be the type of person who just knows things internally based on some type of heuristics, like rules of thumb, that you don't have a clear logic and understanding of. Like, they might be knowledgeable, they might apply logic, they might have a thinking pattern that would explain why they do such and such, but at the end of the day, there is this underlying current of them following some type of internal understanding and intuition when handling in life, whether it is in their relationships, in their business, or whatever it is. So they are deeply connected to themselves. They know what they are looking for on the inside, and I would say that they follow it generally, in the sense of, by knowing what they want, they wait for that thing to get presented to them. And when it gets presented, when they get this opportunity, then they start chasing that particular thing. But they trust their inner vision and intuition in doing so. Now, with the King of Cups in the reversed position, I would say that, if anything, this person might every now and again fall into, let's say, unregulated emotions, whether that would be more towards the sadness spectrum or more towards the anger spectrum, I don't know, and it doesn't really matter. But they might have every now and again a little bit of a emotional volatility. This is not to say in any way that they are aggressive outwards or anything like that, but they are not, I don't know, they just have something bubbling underneath the surface, let's say it that way. But good, when they get into that state of something that they want and that resonates with them to present itself to them, they are chasey and go-getty type of energy and person. We have the Eight of Wands, we have the Five of Wands also, and we have the Knight of Swords, and all of them are cards of basically fighting and struggling for something you want. I mean, this card you can't really see it, but this is the card of like 8 fire sticks flying in your direction. Like, it is fast, it is I am going to do it, I don't care what it costs, I don't care if I burn the whole house down, that type of energy. So when they lay their eyes on something, when they set their intention and sight onto something, competition only motivates them further. Like, they are not someone who would be afraid of competition. Again, either in the love arena, in the life arena, doesn't matter. It charges them, like it gives them, it inspires them. Maybe that would be the best word. It inspires them. And they might be a little bit lacking in patience in that regard. They might want things to happen really fast generally, not only towards this relationship. This is giving me the general vibe of this person. So every now and again you might get annoyed with them, with their pushiness in a way, with their over determination to the point of sort of burning themselves out. Like, it's just this feels like a person who can spend a lot of time and energy on the same task, which, if you are not like that from the outside, it seems a little bit weird. Like, the way that workaholics, let's say, when you see them, can be a little bit weird, because it's like, don't you have anything better to do? Like, can't you just leave this, like, work on it for 2 hours, then leave it, go do something else? But some people are just not like that. When they decide on something, when they want something, they can hyper focus on it for extended periods of time. Yeah, in terms of specific signs that came up for this person, we have the mutable energy, which is Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. With mutable energy, those are generally people who tend to be more easygoing, or they should be, although I don't know, I'm just trying to think of all the Virgos I know in my life, and they are anally fixated assholes. I wouldn't call them easygoing, whatever. Anywho, mutable energy is generally more flexible than the cardinal or fixed signs. They tend to be able to fit into the different circumstances. So this person, despite what comes off as a strong character, I don't think that they would be, let's say, if you take them somewhere socially, I don't think that they would be the type of troublemaker. Let's say if someone brings up a political topic that they don't agree with, I don't think they are gonna burn the whole place to the ground with arguments and such. They can sort of sniff out social rules, and they can again put that mask on if necessary. The problem with the mutable signs, sometimes they can be a little bit, let's say, too focused on other people in a way, in the sense of they might want to help or take care of other people somehow. That's a little bit to their detriment. Sometimes they need to have more of a spine to, like, put down the firm boundary with specific people. They might have a tendency to overcommit, but I mean, that's their charm, what can I say? And we also have Venus energy, which is again giving me this sense that this person has a very good understanding of social rules, and hence also the mask that we were discussing at the start. Venus likes to be liked. Venus, you know, the goddess Aphrodite, she can get basically anyone to fall in love with her, and she might be a little bit of an asshole every now and again. In her inner being, she might manipulate people, she might want all the praise that she can get, but people like her because she can put on a face and a front that's very likable. Also with Venus, it can be just purely that this person is quite attractive. This doesn't necessarily have to mean that they have a perfect physicality, but they just have a charm which kind of disarms other people. Venus itself rules over Libra and Taurus, so those signs also might be significant for this person. And otherwise, with Venus, I would also say they are probably a person who enjoys the material side in life, like the material pleasures, I don't know, eating good, going to a nice, sexy hotel and enjoying your time, going to a spa, like that type of Venusian energy. We also have the new moon from the astrology deck. It can be, for instance, that the person is born on a new moon. That would mean then this would mean that their sun sign and their moon sign is the same. If not, in terms of how this relationship can manifest, the new moon speaks about a new cycle. So definitely this, I didn't mention it till now, but this feels like a completely new person in your life. It doesn't feel like some type of situationship from the past that's coming in again. So with the new moon, this is where new cycles begin, so it is time to set new intentions. So it can very well be that you meet this person when you close off some type of old cycle, whether it is with another person, whether it's again with a workplace, whether it's with a friend group, like whatever isn't currently necessarily bringing you forward in life. And if you have towards it this intention of changing something and of trying something new, when you commit to that new path, maybe when you go to a new social event, maybe when you join a new club or whatever, when you inject that energy of newness in your life, you will make the circumstances in order for this person to come in and in order for you to meet them. We have, I pulled a couple of additional oracle cards that might hopefully give us a little bit of context, but honestly, everything they give is the idea of having faith and trusting your intuition to bring you to specific situations and circumstances that would then in one way or another bring this person in. Like, we don't have a specific place or time or anything descriptive, so it can be truly anything. I think you are generally encouraged to just go into new experiences and go into them hopeful, like have faith, but also have joy in doing them. Don't just be sitting around wondering, waiting, like worrying about when a new person is going to come in. What else? I would say that those are the most important things, Pile 1. From the other love oracle, I pulled a couple of cards for you, and honestly, something that rarely happens, all of them came up quite positive. We have the butterfly with a relationship evolving to the next phase. We have the talking with conversing more messages. It can be that at the start you can't spend all that much physical time with this person, be it because of traveling, because of busy schedules or whatever. So you're probably going to be communicating more so on some online platform, like text messages, messenger like Facebook, Instagram, whatever, TikTok, doesn't matter. We also have the kisses with unconditional loving. And interestingly enough, we have the engagement rings. So this carries the potential energy of a more serious commitment, if this is something, of course, that you're looking for. But either way, take it one step at a time. And see where it takes you. So that would be the gist of what you need to do on your side. Find or look and find and appreciate the joy in your day-to-day life. Follow your intuition if it is giving you the hint of, hey, why don't I today go to this new cafe at the other end of the street or whatever and read my book over there. Have faith that things will work out. We have this card actually that I wanted to mention with the guilt-free. Now, I don't know if this is necessarily going to be talking about you or your person, but I'll say it to you because at the end of the day, you are watching this video. With the guilt-free, whatever guilt specifically you might be carrying around with you. Now, in this card specifically, it is shown this person that's eating a lot of junk food. So it might be something as specific as you carrying around the guilt of not looking perfect, or something in this regard, something with food, maybe something with fat, maybe something with diet, doesn't really matter. If that's the case, work on that, try to let go of that. If you need, change certain habits in order to be healthy and aligned with yourself. But if it's not that, it just brings the general message of you carrying around some type of guilt over something from the past, something not working, you not having done something properly, whatever it is. In whichever way you relate to this information, think about it, sit down with yourself to like journal it, note it, start interacting with it mentally in order to find a way out of it. When you leave that sense of guilt, when you stop caring about presenting in some type of perfect way, when you sort of get into this energy of I might suck, but I'm also an awesome person, that type of mental space, this will help to move things along in the timeline with this person. So yeah, Pile 1, let's leave it at that. I hope that that was helpful, and I wish you all the luck in meeting this person. Hey, Pile 2, if you chose either this ring over here, or alternatively the cards the camel, and behind that number 27, the unexpected income, then this is your part of the reading. So let's get into this person that you're gonna be in a relationship with next. They seem like a really interesting person. Wait. Sorry about that, small distraction at the door. So let's get into your cards, starting off with the first significator, the unexpected income. In terms of what this could mean for your potential meeting with this person, it can be that it happens after you have some type of small financial surprise, let's say, but like positive surprise. For instance, you're having to pay less in a given month on a given bill, or you're receiving some type of cash back from somewhere. For instance, you overpaid something, or it can be a small job raise. It is that type of small financial windfall, like not winning the lottery 15 million or whatever, something smaller than that. It can also be that just purely in regards to this relationship, nothing to do with finances, that you start to feel a spurt of good luck a little before this person meets you. So that's regarding the unexpected income card. And let me read to you from the booklet the camel over here, because he is an interesting little guy. So the camel, in terms of signs, it stands for fire, but it is a little bit mix and match, so I'll tell you about it. So the camel is resourceful, independent, and knows oneself. The camel can handle absolutely anything, as it carries a wealth of nourishment within. This wondrous creature is self-reliant and handles challenge with ease. Even in the face of excess heat, like judgment or anger, the camel searches inside for the cool elixir of water to calm the situation. The camel represents the ultimate form of bringing opposites into balance, fire and water, and being responsible for one's own reactions. The camel is a wonderful traveler and is especially fond of trips to faraway lands. When he is in balance, he is calm, content, and has a sparkle in his eye. When out of balance, dehydrated and lacks vitality. To bring into balance, you need a pilgrimage. Good, so that's on our camel. And I have to say, before we get into your final significator card, Generally in this in the energy of this person, we have like a mix of two worlds. They are giving me this vibe very much, that they can be sometimes on two opposite sides of a spectrum at the same time. Like they truly are a person of the gray zone. They can be both black and they can be white. Like that type of contrast might be present with them and their character. But yeah, let's get into your final significator card, which is our guy Ricky Martin over here. I used to have a childhood crush on him when I was little. Yeah, and it only got worse from there. Well, let me tell you, no wonder I am still single. Anywho, Ricky Martin. Yes, he comes with the message of Die Menge kann toben, aber Liebe ist etwas, das nur dein Herz allein kennt. And that translated means that the crowd can rampage. Yeah, let's say rampage. But love is something that only your heart feels and knows. So, in terms of this person and your relationship, like the first message that I got, although I don't know that any men watch my videos either way, so I highly doubt that you're gonna be dating a gay dude, unless you are a gay dude yourself. But maybe somehow this person would be a little bit non-standard, either in sexuality, maybe it's a bi dude. I mean, bi is always the best option, like it goes both directions, we love that. Everyone's included. It can be something like that. It's also giving me the vibe that this person very well might be a foreigner to you guys, because I don't know the flag on his underwear. I feel like it's like Costa Rica or Puerto Rico. I have no idea. I have always been extremely bad at geography, but doesn't matter. We have something foreign and exotic over here. So it can be that this person is from a very different background to you, from a very different country. And we have generally the message in your reading that meeting them might have to do somehow with traveling. We'll get into that as well. But yeah, with Ricky Martin also, and with specifically the text down under him, it's giving the vibe that your relationship might be something that people don't completely agree with at first for one reason or another. It doesn't have to be because of sexuality. It doesn't necessarily have to be because of race or background. Maybe you're just two people that when you see them together, they look quite different. Or it can be that the people around you have till now seen you only date a different type of man, so this comes to a shock, but there is something jarring and different and unexpected in your relationship. Now, in terms of this person's character, like I said, we have this back and forth, like these two opposing sides. I think that they can be extremely well-natured. I think they are extremely good-natured. I think that they are a cotton ball that loves to spread the love around when you give them that choice. But I also feel like if you cross them, if you are mean either to them or to the people they care about, they have no issue with cutting people off. They have no issue with speaking like standing their ground or standing the ground of other people. I would even say that for themselves, they are quite resilient and probably thick-skinned, meaning that I don't expect that they would necessarily pick up a fight just because someone told them something bad or like called them a name or anything like that. But they will stand their ground, they will draw the line in the sand and cut off that person from their life, and they would absolutely fight with people if it comes to them protecting other people in their life, like their partner, their family, their friends, or whatever of that sort. The other thing is, the other extreme that I feel like this person lives in, or rather I would say two extremes, is between extreme, let's say, panic and extreme calmness, in the sense of whether I know what I'm supposed to do or not. This person, I would say, on one side of them, he has extreme trust in themselves and their own abilities and their own intuition that would guide them forward, and their own knowledge as well and skill. But at another time, they might completely get panicked and worried about what is expected of them and what they should do in order to perform optimally, have optimal results, like be the best person, like not let other people down. That's another, let's say, incongruency in their character that I can imagine. And the other thing is, I feel like they oftentimes wander back and forth between solitude and being isolated and being in union and giving to other people. That might be a little bit of a self-protection type of mechanism, because I feel like, I don't know, I generally don't know, because I am rather an introvert. Maybe extroverts are not like that, but I feel like when you spend a lot of time with other people and when you give a lot of yourself to other people, there must come a time when you just have to go back to your own house and lay down and chill and do nothing. And I feel like this is the energy that this person displays. They are loving, they are open, they are there for people, but when shit hits the fan, when the battery is drained, they need to go back to themselves and remain in solitude in order to recharge their batteries and feel reconnected with their essence once again. But like I said at the beginning, in terms of resilience, they are a really resilient person. Now, yes, what I wanted to mention, the aspect about potential traveling with you guys. We have two cards apart from the Ricky Martin on a beach somewhere on a fancy place with palm trees. We also have the Paradise and the Palm Tree from this deck. So, though these cards speak about other things in the love arena, they also speak about like joy, playfulness, stability, security, that type of thing. The fact that both of them have this aspect of warm climate, potential travel to somewhere, potential going on vacation, I feel like this will be an important step in you meeting this person. Again, it might be that you yourself go on a vacation and meet them. It can be that you meet somewhere on a third place and they are from a warmer country, let's say, than you. I don't know, you are from Alaska and they are from Hawaii and you meet in New Orleans. I have no idea. But yeah, that might be important to you. We also have the healthy choices and the I like you card. So if anything, I take that as confirmation that this will be a mutual thing, although that's kind of self-explanatory since we are asking about your next relationship. Now, regarding the healthy choices, that can signify both healthy choices in your love life and in your general life. So there might exist the message here of needing to take better care of yourself, and also not forgetting the people around you as well. But whatever happiness is, wherever you might wherever you feel you might be lacking healthiness at the time being, is an area where if you put more effort into, it would help you propel you forward towards meeting this person. Now, in terms of the astrological signs, let's get over them. Starting off with the square card. The square is basically when you have two planets that are 90 degrees apart from one another. So it can be that this person has some type of important square in their chart. It can be, for instance, that their sun and your sun forms a square aspect. That's not necessarily a negative thing. Especially, I have noticed that in the charts of people who have a lot of friction, have a lot of squares or oppositions or just high friction planets, they oftentimes, I feel like, get attracted to partners who mirror that back to them. So someone who has a lot of squares, oppositions, and high friction planets might fall in love and be in a relationship with and end up with someone who has a lot of the same synastry with them, a lot of squares and oppositions and so on. Maybe it is a thing about being in your baseline energy. For instance, if if your baseline is being this amount of stressed, if you get with someone who is this amount of stress, it might be boring. If it is someone that's this amount of stress, it might be too much. So my theory, it's not confirmed, but I feel like people kind of look for the same stress level that they are used to in their relationships. Anywho, good, that's on the square. The good thing about the square is that it is an aspect that you can overcome through work. It's not like the opposition where it is two inherently opposing sides that they are a little bit more difficult to notice and to see through and to work through. The square aspect just gives you this opportunity to practice work and patience and to kind of successfully at the end integrate both energies of the both things that are square. So it's not incompatible. It's just a little bit of stress, but it is stress with a cause. So yeah, we can see this as an aspect of you getting together with this person to learn a specific lesson. With the Juno or Juno card, no idea, this is Zeus's wife. This is an asteroid that by itself doesn't give us much info, but it does signify a significant relationship in our life, potential marriage. So I would tell you, if you don't know your Juno sign, to go onto astro.com and check it out. That will probably give you important info on characteristics of this person. For instance, if you have, I have Juno and Sagittarius in the 10th house. So in that scenario, for instance, you might be likely to meet someone who is foreign through some type of business dealing, like that type of thing. If it is Juno in Libra, you might meet someone who is some type of person in the beauty industry, or they might work in interior design, or they might be a Libra themselves even. So check that out, it might bring you further clarity. We have the element of fire, which is Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, which kind of confirms also the camel is the sign of fire. So maybe this person has prominent fire placements in their chart. But we know what fire is. It is passionate, it is zestful, it has energy for days. So this will be something that you notice fast in this person's character. And finally, we have the asteroid Vesta, which honestly... Vesta can show where you are devoting your energy, where you find your true calling, and the causes you choose to serve in the world. Okay, so it can be that by bringing you together with this person, you fulfill or you start to work on some type of higher calling for yourself, for themselves as well. I would say that this is probably what this asteroid means. And just to mention briefly, the tarot cards, lastly, because they quite honestly mirror in a lot of aspects the messages we discussed up to this point. Firstly, we have the reversed Three of Swords, which signifies that this relationship will start after some type of heartbreak. I am not really getting the message that you will start once with this person and you will have some type of issue, you will stop and then start again. There is the small possibility, but I would rather say that after they, potentially you two, have healed or started to heal from some type of past heartbreak is when you will come into union, and from that moment onwards you will find this blissfulness in one another with the 10 of Cups. You will find that peace of mind, place of community, of serenity, of just general good companionship, let's say. We have the 5 and 6 of Swords, which is a very interesting combination of cards as well. With the 5 of Swords in this deck in specific, we again have this idea of someone from the outside jarring your mind, whispering in your ear. It can pertain specifically to there being outside people who try to get you or this other person to see that this relationship is somehow not good for you guys. This is mentally stressful, but I don't think that if that's the case, this is something that either of you should pay attention to. And if anything, it would bring you in the direction of growth and strength. We have the Six of Swords as coming as a next card, which is a turbulent card, but it is the card of we must go through this rough patch in order to make it stronger on the other side. Like, this is just a little storm in the sea. It is a pest, it is annoying, but it's just part of the journey. Like, you have to go over it for like 24 hours and then you are on the sunshine and rainbows on the other side. And the other thing is that directly afterwards we have the Strength card, which is also a Leo card, so maybe this person is a Leo, no idea. But yeah, it's just making it out of the potentially negative situation stronger on the other side, more convicted and more in control of your inner world, your emotions, your, let's say, lower urges. And we also have the card Judgment and also the World card. Both are major arcana cards, so this relationship will lead to something major happening in your life. Even if you don't choose to be together forever, even if you don't get married, it doesn't really matter. It will change both of you profoundly. With Judgment, we have this message again of following a higher calling. And with the World card, we have this feeling of completing a cycle. So it can very well be that purely on a relationship level, when you get with this person, you feel that this is the person for you and you kind of close that cycle of your love life. You are kind of like complete in a way, and you don't need to continue looking for such companionship, sort of like a soul level. I don't like necessarily the idea of a soulmate, because the idea is that we have many soulmates, but I remember something I was told once about, I think the concept comes from an astrologer called Noel Till, who speaks of the so-called go-mate, who is the person who you spend your time between your first and second Saturn return, between ages approximately 30 to 60, and who is, let's say, the most optimal person for you to achieve your mission in life to the highest extent possible for you as of now. So this might be this person for you. It might also span beyond the relationship in your real true calling. Maybe you work together on your, maybe your mission in life somehow is connected with this person and you produce something together in that direction. Yeah, pile 2, I would say that this is more than enough for you guys. Let me stop rambling. So, yeah, let me know if it resonated. Let me know if you meet this person. Let me know if they look like Ricky Martin. And yeah, I wish you all the luck. Hey, pile 3, if you chose either this ring over here, no idea what the stone is, or alternatively the two significator cards, the bear and the distant horizons that was behind it, then this is your part of the reading. Let's get into it, and here's to hoping that I can present it in a sensical way. Because out of the 3 piles, definitely your pile is the most nuanced in a way. With you guys, the outcome of this will mostly depend on each person's individual circumstances, because I see it potentially going differently depending on, let's say, your level of growth, the other person's level of growth, as well as there is this possibility here that I didn't really see in the other 2 groups, that this can potentially be someone that you already know and you have some type of back and forth with. So if that is not the case, then it might also be a new person, but even in that case, it would very much depend on your individual standings at the time when you meet and whether you can then get things to work out in a healthy way. But let's get into the cards themselves, because I don't want to give you the vibe that this is anything doomed or anything like that, especially since we asked who you are going to be in a relationship with next. So I definitely think you would take it to that point, but whether then the relationship would be successful in the sense of you growing from it and you remaining together for a longer period of time and not leaving potentially the relationship with negative feelings or not, that would depend on, like I said, your level of self-work and growth. So, to start off with the significator cards themselves, the distant horizons is the first dubious card we have, because apart from the direct meaning that it can speak about you traveling somewhere far, so it can be that you meet this person again on some type of trip similar to group 2, it is a card that can also signify dreams, but also fantasies. And whether this is a dream or a fantasy kind of remains undetermined. So it can be, on the one hand, signifying the more positive aspect, of course, that you are looking for a specific type of person, for a specific type of relationship. You know, you are putting yourself out there, you are putting in your end of the bargain, and you are hopeful that something would happen, that this dream will happen. But it can go towards the more negative aspect of this, where you are a little bit lost in fantasy and not seeing things for exactly how they are. So now, for me to read to you the bear card, because that is also interesting. The bear, element wise, is earth energy, so earth energy might be significant for this person. The bear keywords, we have waking from spiritual slumber and beginning anew. After a long winter, the bear arises from deep slumber. At first, the movement and effort are difficult, but the bear knows it's time to awaken and move towards the dawning light. The bear card represents an individual on the cusp of new directions and personal transformation. The initial weeks and months of this spiritual quest may feel tricky, cumbersome and full of obstacles, but you have no choice, bear. Winter wanes, the warmth of spring emerges, and your transformation begins. When the bear is in balance, he has inner strength and is yearning to grow. When out of balance, you are withdrawn, lethargic and heavy. To bring into balance, you need more movement and exercise. So with the bear, we have this first mention of this theme of waking up from slumber, be it physical or spiritual, and starting to work at things again and starting to get the ball moving. So it can be that up to the point that you meet this person, you were kind of stuck and they were also stuck. And this is the relationship that kind of forces you / helps you to accelerate along this new path. With the last significator card that we have, Matahari, we have the message of sei immer auf den Auftritt deines Lebens vorbereitet. Basically, this means always be prepared for the show of your life. So to say, Auftritt is not exactly show, but it is basically going out in front of an audience or like showcasing yourself. So let's stick to the word show for now. Anywho. So we have this line of message that I'm personally seeing here, is that part of this might be that you or this person, while you were in this slumber energy, were sort of keeping to yourself in the background, potentially not taking care of yourself either, and you are now encouraged to always be ready on your feet for something to happen. This doesn't necessarily mean that you have to leave your house every day like a Slavic doll, like I am going to throw the trash in the trash bin and I am beating my face and putting on red lip. It doesn't have to be that type of preparation, but as you know, success is a combination exactly of preparation and of luck, because even if you meet, hypothetically, the best person in the world, but you look like a total slob, you haven't washed your teeth in a week, you are rocking some type of potato sack, like you haven't talked to people in the last 2 months and you have forgotten all of your social skills, you might blow that chance. So in this new part of your life, you are encouraged to pay attention more to your readiness to engage with the world and what it can offer you at any time of the day. Now, we have, from the additional oracle cards, we have a couple of different messages, which I would say that just simply pertain to you both guys' work that you are doing before entering into this relationship. And one of those things is getting back to doing things that you care about and love. Maybe what brought you in this sleeping energy was that for some time you were kind of burning yourself out by overcommitting to things that are not your thing. And at a certain point you hit a wall, and now you are noticing that you can't continue this way and you're looking to change. So exploring things that were important to you in the past and maybe you have buried deep down might help you move forward in this. We also have the Imagine card, which to me is similar a little bit to the Fantasy card of the start, which in its positive manifestation encourages you to trust your vision and to follow what you want, and to imagine and basically believe that those things are possible. Because if you don't believe that a certain outcome is possible, you are not going to chase that outcome. And regardless of whether you believe in magic on a purely fantastical plane, if you are not going after something, that something isn't going to come to you. Again, if you want to meet someone, you need to at the very least put in the effort to go out of your house. If you want to get in better shape, you need to put in the minimal effort of not stuffing your face. Or for instance, you might need to work out. It's that type of thing. If you completely believe that something is impossible, you are not going to put any effort, and that just nullifies any chances you have. We also have with the Owl card the message of don't do this today if you don't want to, which is again giving me the same vibe that you are starting to potentially leave behind previous engagements that you decided to take that have only been burdening you, and you are now choosing to prefer your own road and your own tasks, so to say. You don't feel indebted, whatever, to other people and to provide for them. And the last card, I'm gonna show you the card itself, because it's not so much the message as the imagery. With the Earth, with you are here. This, to me personally, you may see it in another way as well, is the fact that you are kind of coming to the realization that the world would continue moving also without you, so you don't need to overburden yourself with everything and everybody. Like, those things will be fine even if you take a day off, even if you relax a little bit, even if you say no to someone. Like, it's not that dramatic, truly. We have just this overall energy of you finding a place of more balance and serenity in your life and not spreading yourself too thin in either direction, and getting back in touch with whatever your soul desires. Now, with this person, either way, no matter whether this relationship is forever and you get married and yoo-hoo, or whether it's for 2 months and then you decide that this is no longer working and you move on to something else, this relationship will bring a little bit of a stressful change in your life, but you need it. You need something to break your patterns and to accelerate you forward. And sometimes negativity can just sort of accelerate us forward better. If you are perfectly happy in your situation and you are sleeping straight through the night and you are enjoying your day and your work and everything, you are not really in the place where you are interested in growth because you are just happy. Sorts of unhappiness and stress bring growth. That's why when we have a birth chart, let's say, we want to see negative stressful aspects such as the square, such as the opposition, because they bring the spice that help you move forward. Otherwise, you are like the bear who is in constant slumber. So in that regard, I don't want to again discourage you from this person in any way. It's just a matter of seeing how your energies will work out. Either way, it will bring you something. It's just a question of how much and for how long. But that's up to you at the end of the day. You are the orchestrator of your life. So, the relationship cards. On one hand, we have the self-indulgence, which brings us the message that you need to focus on yourself and work on your self-worth. It is a period of healing and of shadow work and of self-appreciation, which again brings me the vibe of you, and I'm saying you, this can relate to the other person, but you are the one watching, you are the one who might put in some effort to change things after watching, so we're gonna go with you. It is a time of you again letting go of old things that are draining you and seeing why you have put up with them for so long and what you now need to do in order to stop doing that. We have the Mask card with the message of not showing true feelings, hiding personality, pretending, deluding, gaslighting. This can pertain to you, this can again pertain to the relationship. It is very well possible that when you meet this person, because you are both not in a perfect healed energy, that you kind of go back and forth with hiding your feelings, not showing your true intentions, things being up in the air, like kind of playing games, but not out of the game's sake, but just because this is the pattern that you know and because you don't necessarily feel safe enough in order to directly start something. We have also the Runner over here, and the Runner has the message of Runner in a codependent relationship, fear of intimacy, listening to ego, which is similar to the Mask. It is the same idea that basically I don't feel safe for whatever reason, be it because of the other person, be it because of my previous experience, and it's just things are not running smoothly. You need to sort of like two wheels that are not completely fitting. You need to find the place after grinding for a little bit where you both fit. And lastly, we have the Love card with unconditional love, self-love, oneness, passion, affection, and attraction. So again, I am not saying that this is necessarily doomed or anything, but it will not be your perfect love story where everything is extremely easy and straightforward. Now, let's get firstly into the astrology cards, because they similarly have such issues, let's say. Firstly, we have the Fire card, which sign-wise is Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Fire energy is really passionate. It has just copious amounts of energy to give. They have no problem with expressing themselves, even to the point of potentially being a little bit aggressive sometimes in their self-expression. And they are determined, such people. They can enact their willpower like through sheer willpower and force even, and they can get what they want. Now, the bad the bad side of the fire signs can have to do with potential argumentativeness, potentially not listening all too much, potentially just being ready for a fight all the time, which can get a little bit tiring. Then we have Uranus, Pluto, and the asteroid Nisus. Now, with Uranus, literally the first sentence is Uranus, sometimes called the Great Awakener, brings the drama. It is associated with unexpected change, innovation, discovery, liberation, and structural transformation, and can cause a lot of upheaval, personally, politically, systemically, and generationally. So, apart from the purely astrological aspect that Uranus might be strongly present in this person's chart, they might have Aquarius placements, you might in your synastry have significant Uranus placements. We have the repeated idea that this will bring some kind of upheaval and unusual change. Uranus brings unusual change in our life. He changes signs once in 7 years. So this is that type of change that happens about once in 7 years. We have the Pluto card. Pluto rules over Scorpio, and specifically, again, the same spiel. You might have significant Pluto aspects with this person, and Pluto is the planet of transformation and rebirth, and it is a little bit of forceful transformation and rebirth by the sheer fact that Uranus and Pluto are outer planets. Those are typically not planets that we have control of, let's say, quotation put, unless you make it to a certain level of understanding and spiritual, ascension, let's say, you will not directly see and feel the effects of Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto in your life, only up till the planet Saturn. So, and because they are also generational, kind of depending on the person and the specific chart, some people might be more sensitive to feel their shifts than others. So this is, if anything, it's giving me the idea again that this change that this person will bring into your life will be outside change. Like, you might be up to this point working on your life and your whatever patterns, personality, whatever, but it will still feel like change from the outside. There will be some type of outside disruption that will force you to move in a given direction, and that might be what makes the whole thing uncomfortable, because if it comes from the inside, at least you know that you are sort of the controlling force behind it, while this kind of blindsides you in a way. But it is a great time to again work on your shadow self. Any lower needs, let's say, I can't think of the proper word, any things that are holding you back, any hidden things in your mentality that are making issues. Now with this person, you have the perfect chance to work on those. We have a similar message with the asteroid Nisus. Nisus can unlock areas of pain in our lives so that we can begin healing. So I would even say that specifically you can look where this asteroid falls in your chart and whether it makes significant aspects, so you can kind of be prepared beforehand for whatever this thing exactly is that's going to happen change-wise, and start to embrace that energy of transformation. But yeah, either way, it is sort of more the heavy type of energy. Now lastly, just to mention the tarot cards as well, although they have similar messages. We are starting off with the Eight of Cups, with the wondering if I should leave something behind to walk away, or if I should give it one more shot. Whether this is the relationship itself or something in your past being, I don't know. But if I have to guess, this will be something in your past being. This will be that period of slumber and of you knowing yourself and knowing what you're gonna do tomorrow and knowing how you react in given situations. This disruption will ask you to evaluate whether you want to stay there in the safe and the known, even if it is slumber and even if it is boring and decaying, or whether you want to walk away from that and just see where it takes you. With the Page of Cups in the reverse position, we have again this potential message of not being completely realistic in things, being a little bit too stuck in your head, fantasizing a little bit too much, just not being completely grounded in the earth. But we also have the Queen of Swords in the upright position, which speaks that there is clear mental understanding. So if anything, this can potentially signify that there is a little bit of a drift between the emotional and the mental plane, where on the mental plane you understand something and know something and can dissect it purely intellectually, but then your emotions and your hopes and dreams and fantasies are a little bit dislocated from that, so they kind of run the programming in the background of your mind and make you sort of, despite clear logical understanding, not a lack of logical thinking might be present. I don't know if I am explaining it in a way that makes sense, but what I'm getting at is that sometimes you might understand something on a mental level without necessarily feeling it as truth. And when you are still not in the place where you have connected the two, you might still be confused. Like, you understand that you need to do something, that it would be good if you did something, but at the same time, there is something else on an internal emotional level that it's asking you, like, but are we sure? Like, I honestly feel like that if I continue in this emotional way, things will work out. I feel like that's the type of disconnect that exists here. We have the Devil energy also, which can signify quite grand attraction purely on a relationship level, but it again hints at those less than desirable addictive tendencies. So with this person, no matter which way you look at it and at which cards you focus, you will have to deal with that addictive programming you have at the back of your mind and in your heart. I think they will entice you in ways that will make you have to explore that shadow. Like, it will, and somehow it will be this uncomfortable place of some type of boundary pushing that you will be forced to look at your negative patterns. Now, again, whether this will end up great or at a given point in time you will decide that you have had enough and that you have gotten all the positives that you could have, I don't necessarily know. I think that you will have a lot of determination and fighting for this. Like, you will just be motivated to be there. You are not afraid of, let's say, other people disagreeing with this or whatever. You are there to gather all the positive rewards while you can. I think again that there might generally be the overall issue that things are not as grand as you are hoping and expecting, and it can very well be that even this is not necessarily this other person's problem. It can be that they are just the person who is meant to teach you in this life that you are being a little bit unrealistic, a little bit too dreaming your life away, only seeing the positive things instead of knowing what is really possible in the world. I am not saying this in a way as if you should settle with someone or anything like that, but I feel like truly at least one of the lessons you need to learn with this connection over here is that you can be a little bit too far of a dreamer, like the type of dreamer that wastes their time away. So in that sense, I feel like this relationship might not prove itself to be all that you had hoped for, but it might not be a negative thing. It might actually bring you to appreciate the things that actually exist in life and on the earth. And that might make you protective of it, and that might bring you like a couple of pegs lower, where you are still a dreamer, you still chase the dream but not the fantasy, like that type of thing. You have a dream, but it's not the ideal, because the ideal doesn't exist. The ideal is a fantasy that can't be fulfilled. But there are dreams that you can tangibly work towards and achieve. This is what I'm getting at with these cards. And I'll stop rambling with that, because I am not all too sure whether everything I said is even all that understandable. I hope that it is. And I hope that this is helpful for you and brings you somewhere further. But yeah, pile 3. Yeah, I just hope that this was helpful and that I didn't make you sad or anything like that. And either way, I wish you all the luck with this person when you meet them, and in general, yeah, let me know what you think.